We're going to move into the next part of our program this morning. It's still morning. And we'll be listening to a number of volunteers, and they're going to talk about a bunch of specific topics. So we're going to start with Aaron Wykoff. Now, Aaron works with online resources and content, and he's going to be talking to us about why we're becoming certified proctors for Casas. This was absolutely new to me, and it's amazing. So, Aaron, you're on.
All right, thanks. Let me share my screen. And then find it. All right, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the way that I ran across Casas was actually, I was just sitting at home on a weekend and I was Googling for grant funding sources. And I stumbled across WIOA, which is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And then in turn, later stumbled on OTAN, which is free training resources. I'll touch on that a little bit later, but it's free training resources for English teachers. And it's funny how just things kind of connect and intersect. But I found WIOA first, then I attended an OTAN training that was about a learning management system. And I was thinking, we could build a learning management system here, and then teachers could add content and share content to teach students. But then OTAN already has a learning management system, which exists, but you can't access OTAN unless you have WIOA funding. So it was kind of going around and around. And then I talked to someone at Casas that said, well, you could use Casas to test students and set the baseline and then measure over time, and then take that information to WIOA and get grant funding. And some of the grant funding is substantial. There's one organization here in LA that's pulled in over $1 million in funding. I would just be happy with 20 or 40,000 if we show from that baseline a steady increase in English skills. So anyway, that's how I stumbled upon Casas. I think I started going through the training and getting SBLC certified to deliver Casas training somewhere around maybe April or May, and then finished up in July. And then I've been going through and documenting the process of remote proctoring so that you all, if you want to become volunteers and sign up for proctoring, that you guys will be successful from day one and won't have to reinvent the wheel. So Casas' mission is to assist adults functioning at or below high school level in attaining the basic literacy skills to function effectively on the job, in the community, and in the family. And this is what's very cool about Casas. So I, in parallel, also was developing kind of a way to deliver via PowerPoint immigration and ways to pass the test with sample question and answer. And I was looking at the mobile app that USCIS has for immigration and becoming naturalized citizen. And then also found out that I don't need to do that because it resides in Casas also, along with math and other training on the job skills, life skills, kind of things as well that they can take before potential employers. So at a root level, Casas provides testing of basic and academic skills for youth and adults. We were just talking about, like the GED program, or students who may have fell out of the high school path and then gone to work and now are saying, okay, well, I really need my higher education to re-enter the workforce. Or it could be, as the example with Jesse Solis, who comes here and takes tests or takes training on Mondays. He works down at the port and he is passing up opportunities because he logs in and sees what jobs are available for longshoremen, but he's passing up opportunities to work at the computer. So computer skills, life skills, and English reading for him. He speaks 100% fluently, but as an adult needs to improve his other skills so that he can then go in and log more hours in the more administrative kind of work, which he'd be great at. But it's just that he needs that progress. So Casas offers that framework to test and track progress over time. And again, if if we enroll enough students and we can show progress, then we should be eligible for WIOA funding. So employers, over a million participants in the program per year take their benchmark and their work skills and show them to employers every year. And what's great about Casas is it rolls up to the state and then federal NRS levels. As far as benefits for teachers, so you can pilot the e-tests online. Students don't have to just jump right in and test. They can take sample tests also, whether it be for immigration or for English language. And then it gives you an opportunity to look at new assessments, to think about where your student is, at what level, and watch and reflect on student achievement over time. And then these things roll up. So the demographic information, which I'll show in a bit, rolls up all the way through federal. And so these are the NRS national test levels. So there's levels 1 through 6. This aligns with Cambridge or other methodologies for baseline assessments. And then the score ranges. So a lot of our students are beginner or beginner intermediate, somewhere in between there. So they're going to be at ABE level 1, 2, 3, somewhere in that range, typically for ESL on the newer side. But then you will get adult learners like Jesse who would score much higher as well. And then I'll send this out, these links, if you want to explore them. There's also a YouTube channel where you can get more information and get an idea of what it would take for baseline assessment and how all these different components work. This is a sample output, so it does include math. We don't have to involve with math, but if you have those skills and want to deliver them, this is another way to baseline that as well. But we will only advertise our ESL capabilities here. And then reading competencies. So what's nice too is this kind of maps to life skills and work skills. So as you see under here, reading competencies, community resources, health, employment, government and law, learning and thinking skills, and then the math competencies as well, vocabulary, reading comprehension, higher order reading skills. One thing too I wanted to mention is Sheila came in the other day and was looking for books here on the bookshelves behind me and asked about her student had a need for when she goes to the doctor and takes one of her kids to the doctor, and learning that vocabulary and how to be able to speak about, flu shot and what is the word for whatever she needs to interface with the doctor. So those very specific needs, rather than reinventing the wheel, just shoot me a quick email and I will reply. There may be something on the Google Drive, as is this case. I had one of our newer incoming tutors just basically take a form that you fill out when you first visit a new doctor and translate that to English and Spanish. And then they inserted images also of what these things mean so that they can get a better understanding. And that's all of these technology resources are on the Google Drive or in PowerPoint. So these are the functioning levels, reading scores between 203 and below, very, very beginner, all the way through high adult secondary education, LES type learners. And then citizenship is another module as well. Again, I have this PowerPoint where I was actually thinking about delivering this and partnering with local immigration law firms and just sending an email out saying, hey, for 4 Saturdays in a row, we're going to go through the citizenship interview test, the reading, help them become more and more proficient there as well. And then government and history. So OTAN is great. I think everyone on this call should sign up for their newsletters because they have usually 1 or 2, and it's usually on a Friday afternoon, free training for English teachers. And they have this learning management system. So that's how I first got introduced to OTAN. was I just hopped on a learning management system webinar on a Friday. And it's great if you want to kind of get an idea on how to build content, because it's already there, but you have to register as a student, not as a tutor, because we're not part of the OTAN network without being part of WIOA. But it is a great way to just learn how to put content together, how you would work with a beginning student, and build out that library. So OTAN grant objectives, outreach and technical assistance network. They provide electronic collaboration and information for literacy and adult education providers in California, which we are, but unfortunately we're not part of WIOA, so we can't participate yet, but got my eye on that for sure down the road. And then distance learning. So you had some students on one of the webinars on a Friday, and they were talking up their teacher, and they were talking out this delivery mechanism for the content as well. That's used statewide. And then this is a screenshot of what you can access. So again, back to the Sheila example, where Sheila, you were looking for content around health. You may very well find in here that there is a doctor visit if you click on health, or employment, preparation for a job interview, and workforce training, that kind of thing for your students. So you can be a mentor. Also along the lines of, just me being here for any technology resources or questions that you may have. Someone reached out to me a few months ago and asked about pronunciation. And so I'll just go out and research whatever the need is, and found a pronunciation app called Blue Canoe, where the student can just talk into their mobile phone, and it uses AI and will correct them and offer suggestions for how to better pronounce words. There's also free grammar through Cambridge English, just a whole bunch of apps out there, and I have all this stuff documented, so feel free to reach out on that too. And then CalPro, so I had this offer a few months ago, but didn't really know how to get the word out. But this is kind of part of that same OTAN Casas ecosystem, and they offer free professional development training for adult educators. So if we all as a group are interested, I have that person on a thread through email, and they will customize the training and deliver it regionally right here at SBLC if we want, and have that available to us. And she asked me for what the curriculum would be. And I said, well, what do you normally do in a scenario like this? And she said, completely open, whatever you guys want to focus on. If it's Zoom combined with where to find resources, combined with building a curriculum, whatever we want, they'll come out here and train us for free. So this along the lines of GED, National External Diploma Program. Casas rolls up to that as well. NRS I touched on. WIOA, the overarching organization and funding. So we want to also, when I go into TOPS Pro Enterprise and I enter a new student, we want to capture as much demographic information and as much employment and labor kind of goals, like what are their personal goals, highest years of school, ethnicity, race, all these demographics, as much as possible. So just if you have a student coming in to baseline assess with me, or now Charles has offered to volunteer also and help benchmark those Toberman students. Also Monique is a tutor who has offered to take the training to become a proctor as well. So just let your student know that we want to capture as much information about their personal goals as possible. And then this is our eye on the prize. So New Opportunities LA, over $1 million in funding through WIOA. BPSOS started out helping refugees from Southeast Asia. They offer workforce, job skills, English, much as we do, and citizenship as well. And they received $203,460. So again, I would be thrilled if we could just pull in maybe 40 or 50,000 in funding. And then to learn more, there is Casas on YouTube. So Introduction to TOPS Pro, that's the system that I'm in. You don't have to learn every corner of TOPS Pro Enterprise. I'll be entering new proctors, new students, all that kind of thing, but just to get the basics and what you're capturing and how you're conducting assessments and baseline would be great. And then final call to action, if you're interested in being an e-test coordinator or proctor, less important about the e-test coordinator because it takes me like maybe 5 minutes to set up a new student or a new proctor. But module 1, 2, and the last one, the Casas e-test proctor certification, would love to have new participants. And Deborah Hawkins, our president, is going to be taking the training. Charles, you said it was only an afternoon to knock out module 1, 2, and the last one. So not a huge time investment, but would love to have everyone participate if you'd like.
That's correct. This was not a whole lot of time to get through those modules.
Yeah, and then since today's theme is partnerships and connections, it's really cool that we have Torrance One Stop, which is workforce development and training, right, a stone's throw from this office. And we've also got Torrance Adult School that also use Casas. So I think it'll build our credibility with those organizations also. And I think Sutina, you've been involved with Torrance One Stop, right? And I know Deborah's attended events at the adult school as well. Sutina, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. I mean, I called them, but I wasn't able to actually speak to anybody. So I wouldn't say that I'm involved with them yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be cool just to drop off some, well, actually not even drop off. We can take this offline, but maybe I'll go over and I'll interface with their Casas proctor and then just let them know that we're a Casas shop and then kind of build the relationship from there, if that makes sense. But yeah, we can take that offline. And then, yeah, just feel free to reach out. That's my presentation, but reach out with whatever the need is. A mobile app, if your student's struggling, just conducting Zoom calls over a small mobile device. We'll get them whatever they need, whether it be a laptop or Jack Condon, thank you for your generous grant for those Kindle Fire tablets, because we have those out in the field. And we're going to get either the tutor or the student the resources they need to be successful. So reach out anytime.
Thanks, Aaron.